What kind of stories? Like you play with Liner and Bush, like you hear all this stuff. He got his Heisman taken away for the things that would happen.
He dates a Kardashian.
Under Pete Carroll's regime. He goes off to Seattle. Do you have any stories?
Yeah, man.
About the LA life
you
back
know,
then with
like,
the USC Trojans?
Because you guys, that's when like USC was truly, it was
SC.
It was SC.
Yeah.
You go on Rivals,
legitimate celebrities. Like you were celebrities to the celebrities.
Yeah. You go on Rivals.com and you see them in their gray T-shirt, cutoff T-shirts, working out, and you'd be like, "That's the place." You see that red wooden fence sitting behind a recruit, and you'd be like, "That they went."
There
to
were
USC.
there were 3 schools I wanted to go to. USC was one of them.
Yeah.
Just that was, gosh.
What year was that, real quick? Sorry.
09 would have been my freshman year. 09. That's when Pete was still there.
Well, I know Tyron Smith was still there, but he might have been like a junior or
He was
sophomore,
older.
junior.
I think he got drafted in 2011, 2012.
I think
yeah,
he was.
because I remember he was.
Tyrone was
my
in class.
senior year was like these tackle. It was Matt Khalil, and they were so skinny and small. I come back and they're like first round draft picks. Yeah,
there was one guy I can't remember who was in my class, but he was like the number 5 tackle, and it was like I can't. He had a family, like his dad also played at USC. But I was like I was 255. I was the weight I am right now, my senior year of high school, and like trying to like get scholarships on potential. Yeah. This kid was like 310 already, like, you know, oh, this kid looks like he can play in the league. I can't remember his name. I had a huge vendetta against him my entire college career.
As you should.
Yeah, that's how you keep the chip on the shoulder.
Yeah, well,
pick 1 or 2 guys.
Yeah, no, and you create narratives in your head, you know.
Yeah,
whatever you got to do to get yourself up in the morning. So, you know, I think you probably, like me, we get this question a lot. What was it like, you know, LA celebrities paying players? Like, I hate to disappoint, at least my experience, and I can't say I was boys with all those guys. Like, I can't necessarily say I was running the Hollywood circuit with Liner and Reggie. Like, that wasn't necessarily my vibes at the time or ever. But it was really a credit to Pete Carroll, man. And a lot of the company I run today, I founded almost a decade ago and unbeknownst to me at the time, like I got to see a highly successful, high performance organization run, in my opinion, as good as it possibly can, where Pete created this insane level of competition, like iron sharpens iron, full speed, 1s versus 1s every day in practice. But then he did it in a way that was so loose and so fun, lots of pranks, lots of celebrities, and just the master. And so that's really, you know, you juxtapose that versus a Nick Saban, and both are insanely successful. They're very different though. And Pete's style, in my opinion, you know, so many people tried to replicate it, just not to the degree. It was a lot of fun. He was very transparent about competition. I'll give you a story. So I'm sitting behind Polomalu for 3 years, and then heading into my senior year, the way I saw it, we had the strong safety pretty much settled, and I was a safety, and the safeties were interchangeable. So the other safety was open, and, you know, looking at the depth chart, like humbly speaking, I felt good about my opportunity to potentially earn that spot. And then, but they signed a 5-star freshman out of Long Beach Poly, Darnell Bing, who'd go on to have a great career and became a good buddy of mine. But, you know, I didn't know Darnell personally when they signed him. I'm like, oh crap, like here we go. So it's before spring, before the first practice. You meet as a team, you're in the big team meeting room, and Pete goes, hey guys, okay, this spring we got to get after it. We just coming off, you know, a big BCS win. And he goes, but I want you to understand the opportunity you guys as existing players have is the spring is your showcase. Because in the fall, we're bringing the #1 class in. They had just signed it because signing day is like February. Now it's March, spring ball. He goes, we're bringing the #1 class in, and we are going to give them the reps and give them the opportunity to beat you out. And so you need to take this time seriously, because you're not going to have as big of a opportunity in the fall. And just to drive home the point, you're going to sit here, and for the next hour, we're going to put their highlights on film, and you have to sit here and watch all of the 5-star recruits they're bringing in. These guys, I am bringing them in to take your job, and you're going to sit here and you're going to watch their high school highlights. So we had to sit there for an hour.
Holes were tight in that meeting room. Oh my God.
So we had to sit there, and, you know, it's like, okay, running backs, it was coming in, Reggie, Lendale. We had a guy, Chauncey Washington, who was really good running back. You know, tight ends, O-lineman, and then it gets to safety. Like it said, 5-star, #1 in the country, rivals, #1 in the country, this, Darnell being Long Beach Poly. And I just sit there for like, you know, 5 to 6 minutes and watch these guys' highlights. And I'm just sitting there like, fuck this motherfucker. Like, you know,
yeah.
Like, because that, like, when you're in that like alpha dog, hyper masculine society that is college football or any football, like, it's kind of like a fighter's mentality. Like, I'm going to kill this guy. And like, that's what he was doing. It was all, Pete was so good at the psychological part. And so, the answer to your question really is like, I don't have any, as far as I know, there weren't like alumni handing out money or anything, at least not to me, not to you. Like, but it was the way Pete ran the program. It was so intense. It was so high speed, full speed, 1v1s. He would like proactively tell you are competing with him. And yet he did it in a way that there wasn't open animosity. I never looked at Darnell or Troy like, I hate you. No, those are my guys. Those are my boys, and I do the best I can to take that and apply it to the company I get to run.
You had talked about, celebrities and whatnot coming out. Like, I think, Kyle graduated right when they were peaking us and, the celebrity was coming in. So like Snoop Dogg would come in and drop it like it's hot. We had a guy freestyle with him in the front. Will Ferrell come in as Ricky Bobby. We had all these guys coming in on the sideline and whatnot. It kept a loose environment, but kind of like Kyle alluded to, it also that what he demanded from us as well, he made it very clear. And some of my fondest memories are just the stretching lines. We'd have Ken Norton and Lane Kiffin, and they'd be arguing at each other. And
Sark.
Sarkisian was there.
We had a squad.
Ole Miss. Why am I?
Ed Ogeron.
Ed Ogeron was there, but they, Ken Norton. Ken Norton.
Because it wasn't just the players, it was the coaches too.
Ken Norton would be saying, Lane, only reason why you got a job is because your daddy. Yeah. And then Lane would be yelling back, your daddy got knocked out by Ali. And he said, my daddy broke Ali's jaw. And it was like, and then we went straight into 9-on-7, just a brutal ball. But like Kyle said, there was no animosity. It was like you could tell there was that friction, but it was always competition. That's every meeting, was all about competition.
And Pete, while he was a player's coach and that he is fun, like he was a killer, man. He was a businessman, and if you got in the way of his program, guys would disappear, man. Like they would get out. I remember because back then there was no transfer portal, there was nothing. And again, this is my opinion. I can't prove this. Is like when Pete came in, because my freshman year, I was with Paul Hackett, and then Pete came in, and all of a sudden, like guys started disappearing off the roster. He would go to him, he'd say, hey, listen, like, and this is what I heard. So is like, hey, you're never going to play here. And so you could do one of two things. You could transfer out, we'll sign your papers, like, see you later.
And back then you had to take a year off, right?
If you transferred, you had to take it. Or what he did was he went to a lot of guys like, hey, you had a shoulder injury, you had a knee injury, like you're recovering. We'll medical you, but we'll like walk you into the grad school program. Like, cause like he came in, he's like, how do I turn this roster around? And I can't wait to do it 15 to 20 scholarships at a time. In my first year, 35, 40 guys like got cycled through the program at a time that it wasn't as liquid as it is today, like where guys can just come in and out. I mean, nowadays coaches are going like, hey, you should transfer because we're not going to play you and go somewhere else. So he's a killer and you respect that, but he did it in a way that just, really some of the fondest memories of my life. Like I don't know. I'd be interested to ask you guys the question, like, what do you miss more, like playing football or the locker room? Right. I miss the locker room. That's what I really miss.
The locker room is
Clay. It might be commercials.
Yeah.
Or Pitch Perfect.
Yeah, I see Peyton Manning's autograph. There was before J.J. Watt. It was me on the defensive side. With all those commercials. All right? Yeah.
You bring up Pete Carroll and how like stern he was and hardcore he was, but how he made it fun. Like he seemed like a guy that he like made the basketball hoop in the team meeting room, made that famous. Like what were some of the things he did to keep it like? Because my short time I went to a junior camp at USC, and it was like I saw him, and the first time I met him, he gives me a hug, and I'm like, this guy's the fucking, like he just had that energy.
So he's just built different. He has energy that I don't have, and like I think he was born that way. That is not an act. Like he is a high energy positivity guy. I'll give you some examples, and maybe it changed by the time Clay got there. Like, it's the middle of camp, and you're what are the 28 days in camp, and it's day 18, like you're just in the shit, right? And your body's banged up and you're going hard, and Pete's like, hey, like, for practice in the morning, practice in the afternoon. So at the end of the first practice, I don't know if he manufactured, really felt like this, but it was supposed to be full pads in the morning, like shells in the afternoon. So full pads. And at the end of practice, he's like, that was a bullshit practice. I don't like the energy. This is BS. Like, just ripping us, which again, that wasn't normally his go-to style. He did it more than probably the normal fans would think, but like, it was like, and maybe we were dragging ass. So he's like, you know what, because of that, we're going full pads this afternoon, hitting drills, tackling live, everything. We're just like, oh no. And so he brings us out in the second practice, We start doing the stretch lines, and he like calls us up and he goes, guys, like, I need to be able to trust you. And I'm paraphrasing. I need to be able to trust you. Like, I was not happy with this. So I'm going to give you an option. Either we go hard and like do this the right way, or we get on some fucking buses and go to the beach. And there are buses lined out right outside practice. And we all get on the bus in our full pads and go to Manhattan Beach and go to the beach that day. Like,
yeah, movies. We go watch the beach volleyball.
Yeah,
man, and just stuff in the meeting room too. I can't remember why, but we always were shooting water up in the air. Guys taking their shirts off, swinging them around. I don't know why, but like that was it every meeting. They always call people up to make fun of other people, like what you did with Braves. Geez. Like they called me up all the because I was just a walk on at the time. Like nobody, and then like they would call people up to make fun of others. They do one-on-ones, watching people get cooked or whatnot up. So like they always promoted that environment.
I'll get you on that team meeting. So like, we might have to cut this just because I like this guy, but we would come in,
destroy him.
No.
We're having fun.
We would come in and like to Clay's point, like there was this. It started my sophomore, junior year, like the meeting room. Coach O was getting mad about something, and he smashes a projector with his fist, and like these are projectors. Like I'm getting old here, and he smashes it and throws it, and then like we're getting hyped. So Kennedy Pola, this big Samoan running back coach, he played running back, just awesome guy. Like he takes a chair and throws it through this window because they're like floor to ceiling windows, like 12 feet tall, and throws it through the window. And we're sitting like, what has happened? So then that became kind of like whenever they felt like we would just start getting hyped and throwing water. And so Kennedy Pola started saying like, what's the first thing you do before you get in a fight? It's like, take your shirts off. So everyone takes their shirts off. We start like pushing each other and like,
let's fucking go.
Yeah.
You get me hyped up right now.
Yeah. And then he's like, then there's this chant like wartime. It's time to go to war. Like we're going to take it outside. Like, what do? You take your shirt off. Like, let's go outside. We're about to get in a fight. That was our chant. Like back when we were winning. I don't think it is anymore. Lincoln might need to bring it back. Yeah. But my point is, so then, so it started getting more hyped, and every meeting got more and more hyped. It wasn't, to eventually like you took your shirt off, like everybody's taking their shirts off. And then we had a linebacker coach, Coach Holt, Nick Holt.
Oh yeah.
He was your coach.
Yeah.
He ended up going to coach Idaho for a minute. He got so hyped up one time, he took his shirt off in front of the whole team. Then he took his pants off. All of it. The underwear.
No shit.
And he's jumping around butt ass naked. And I'm sitting there, everyone's like, yeah, let's fuck. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
And like, he's like, what? Too much? It's like, dog, put the, like, and everyone's like, dude, what just happened?
Dude, he was a grown man.
He got into that like manic alpha where he went
18 and older.
18 barely legal kids.
Yeah. And I was like, all right. Like after that, we agreed there was a limit to the height.
We got to draw a line.
Was the next meeting Pete Carroll being like, hey, we can get excited, but let's keep our underwear on?
Probably. Like, because Pete had a great way to roll with it. But that's when I was like, all right, this place is crazy, dude.
Yeah. That is
what has happened?
Awesome.
Like, it was just next level, and then the NCAA came in and killed it. Yeah. So
fuck the NCAA. Did you ever go to Reggie Bush's house in Malibu in college?
No, I did not. Did he have a house in Malibu?
I think that's what he had. That he had cars.
This is how stories
allegedly. This is all allegedly.
The only thing I got, I honestly, I never saw money. I've never seen any of that, but I got 2 free Arby's roast beef sandwiches in the Valley. That was the only thing I got in my 5 years at SC. I got nothing. So all this stuff, like, where are these guys getting? They get free, whatever it is, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I had my head in the sand, but that went over my head.
Bro, you were part of I wouldn't even say arguably the best linebacker room of all time.
Facts.
Like you, Maualuga,
Maiava.
Yeah,
we went.
Kaluka, Keith. Rivers?
Well, but that's senior class, yeah. And then because
Keith was older by the time.
Keith was he was a year older, so he went 9th. But I was even there. Lofa was 2nd round. But yeah, my senior year was me and Kush went 1st round, and Ray went second. Ray should have gone. Well, he was supposed to go 1st, and then Maiava went 4th to the Browns. We had a good. I think we finished first, second, and all the postseason accolades and whatnot. Yeah.
Clay and Kush had phenomenal careers. Ray had a great career. Even Kaluka, like he was playing.
Like 6-7 years.
Yeah, I think maybe
shoulder or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. But that was a great team.
How was Kush in college? Because he seems like a psycho.
He's my favorite
New Jersey boy.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Savage. You just have that thing when they're playing the Cleveland Browns and he runs face first to the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Face blood full. Or a face full of blood.
Hey, we would be in like Coach Norton, Ken Norton would be, in meetings, and it'd be like lunchtime, and I'd be eating like a turkey burger with fries, trying to be healthy, and this guy like, offer something up. And then you see his little watch go off, click it, reach underneath out, pull out his like customized meal and pills and whatnot. He was dialed in. But I love that guy. He's still one of my best friends to this day. I wish we could have played again. We still keep in touch. But yeah, he was a monster. And I think he helped elevate that room because of his Jersey tough mentality. He was about it. He was about that. Like
he was about that action.
Yeah. He and Clay knows him super well. But like I was thinking last time I hung out with Kush, we were in Miami. And we're down there for the Pro Bowl. Clay's in the Pro Bowl, and so me, Clay, my brother Casey, and Kush, we're out and we're having a good time. But it's like, it's like midnight, 1 a.m. Like I'm getting tired, man. We're like grown-ups, and Kush like, come on, like we're in Fort Lauderdale, which is about an hour north of Miami. Kush like, no, let's go to Miami. There's a party at a club in Miami. My teammates from the Texans, Andre Johnson, is from Miami. He's throwing a party. You remember this?
Man, it was.
So
we were the only white boys there. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
So we're outside this club. We're with it was Ray Lewis. It was Dan Henderson. We're sitting outside, and I'm like, no, dude, I'm tired. Like, go home. And Kush's like, no, come on. Like, what do I got to do? And I swear to God, you look down, and I don't know, in the curb, there was a $1 bill in like a dirty curb, like in like gutter water. And I was like, you eat that $1 bill. And Kush was like, what? I was like, eat that $1 bill. We'll go to Miami. So Kush rolls up. He eats a gutter water $1 bill, and he goes. I was like, fuck, man, we're going to Miami.
No shit.
So we go down to Miami. Hold on, it gets better. We go down. We don't really understand the context of this party. Yeah. So we roll in. It's a nightclub. Andre Johnson and the entire U is throwing it in like Coral Gables or Brickell or somewhere down there. And we walk into Clay's point. Look, this is not, it's like, we're the only white dudes there. And like, which is fine. Like, we're like, oh, this is fun. And Cushing, we go up, they have a table for us. We're dapping up some people we know. Kush disappears
over there. Mario Williams dapping him up in the middle of the
dance floor. So listen, they're
takes
just
you down there, then disappears.
Hold on. It gets better.
Left you out to dry.
This is a Kush story. So like again, like Clay, you can make the decision if we edit this out. I think this makes him look even better. But he disappears, and they're bringing bottles and bottles and bottles. We're not drinking. Like now it's 2-3 a.m. And like the Matthews were like, oh, let's go home. Well, anyway, all of a sudden we're like, hey, we're going to head out. He's like, well, who's paying for this bill? And it's like, this is $10,000. I was like, well, it ain't us, it's Cushing. So Cushing had left his credit card on the table. That's fine. Kush had like a $2,500 limit on his credit card.
Boys, I got this. Don't even worry.
He's disappeared. He has his credit card, can't pay for anything. And we're like, we're not paying for it. And like, they're like, someone's paying for it. And so finally we got the guy to, Andre Johnson comes over. It's his party.
I think it was like his, somebody got it.
I got it. And then we were saying, hey, to Andre Johnson, you got to go track Kush down to get the money. And he got the money, but like, that was Kush.
Hey, where was Kush?
Oh, he just disappeared. He was down there amongst the crowd.
I know where he was. I know where he was.
Kush told me the story. He said like, yeah, I got you. And then like, it was like a month later and somebody rolled up on him. He had to like write a check or something.
Shit.
Like, hey, you got that money? He's like,
somebody rolled up. That's right. Somebody rolled up on him and was like, hey, like, where's the money?
Yeah. That is so
Kush is that guy. That's not an act. Like he's a savage, That
linebacker room at SC had to be crazy.
It was great.
It was my entire motivation and inspiration, like in my high school days. Like my dad was pretty psychotic with me as a kid, but you were the walk-on story. Kush, I had to do all, my dad would buy all the DeFranco tapes and I would have to do all the DeFranco method that Kush would do. I mean, Kush just got that, diabolical before and after photo with when he was going through labrum surgery. And then all of a sudden he's like flexing with you. You guys are both flexing in the classroom. And then Ray Maualuga was my lock screen. So I was all SC linebackers.
Why didn't you go there?
I wasn't good enough. I didn't get an offer.
What year was that?
08 was the class I came in. I think that was Tyron Smith.
What linebacker? Who was like Chris Gallipo or who were?
Yeah, him. Yeah.
Well, because my brother,
he was a 5-star.
Yeah, my brother came out. He might have been like a 3 or 4-star. My younger brother and SC.
Pete passed on him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Was Pete still there? Well, anyways, they passed on him, and so he went up to Oregon. And obviously, Oregon had played in the national championship, ended up losing to Cam Newton, but. after like the first year, I was like, "Does your brother want to transfer back to USC?" And like, he missed it.
Come
You
on,
missed the
man.
boat. But
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Supposed to keep in the family.
Yeah.
What are you
Dude.
guys doing?
I have a vivid memory of it's like week 6 or 7. No, probably the first couple of weeks of my rookie year, and I'm not starting, but I'm watching Ray Maualuga on the Bengals, and we had a whole game plan of like, hey, we got to hit the perimeter on these guys. So we were watching a bunch of pin pull things with tackles going out.
Yeah.
And there's a clip from the Ravens where Ray did not give a fuck about making the tackle. He was just murdering
He was a
offensive
thumper.
linemen left and
Yeah,
right.
he was a
Right then, I sat in that
savage.
meeting room. I was like, I pray to God nobody gets hurt
Yeah,
in this game.
he was a
I am not
hammerhead.
playing.
as a freshman at USC, they put him on kickoff like L5, R5. He'd run down there, biggest head ever too and neck, and he would just lead with his head and just knock
Kill
people
people.
out. And he would just get up. I mean, he was like, you would think he was just straight from the island. Like you brought him over like Maui, you know, like he
Yeah,
just like
demigod.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was.
Like his body, I was telling Taylor before this, like when we were talking about Maualuga, his body, like everybody has like a reaction when they're making a big hit. Like Ray, his body just always stayed so compact.
Yeah.
Like his body never moved when he made a big
There's
hit.
no like
He
blowback
just like
or
ran
anything.
through people. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just a
looked
brick
so
wall.
stout. Yeah.
He would have been perfect. He probably could have I mean, still played for several
played a
years, but he
while.
probably, that rate, late 90s, early 2000s generation of inside linebackers who just needed to run downhill.
Yeah. That game he had at the
Oh,
Rose
man,
Bowl.
that USC UCLA highlight that just popped up
Oh,
right
where-
there.
yeah.
We ended
Playing it
up
right now.
we ended up I think losing this game. We would have gone to the national championship,
Dude,
but
that quarterback's in real estate. He
Look.
reaches out to me all the time.
helmet to
on.
helmet every play.
So I think his name,
Murdering.
So his name is Patrick Cowan. I think he's done well in real estate. So he'll reach out and it's like, man, how's your head? You know?
Yeah. How's everything going?
no
He was
flag.
a killer.
Is that
That running back 3-bar face mask too.